Who would make more money in Grow Garden, a beggar or a grinder? That's what we're going to find out today. Hello guys, welcome back to this new video. Today we are going to test out which of the two types of players in Grow Garden would make more money. The beggar or the grinder. The way we're going to test this is simple. I will make two brand new accounts. On one account, I will grind for 1 hour in Grow Garden, and on the other, I will beg for a full hour. We do need to establish some rules before we start though. First, the rules for the grinder. Number 1, I can't accept gifts from anybody. Number 2, I can't trade with anybody. And number 3, I need to finish the 1 hour in one sitting, which means no leaving and waiting for crops to grow. Secondly, the rules for the beggar. Number 1, I can't spend my money on anything. Number 2, I can't use pets to my advantage. For example, the mole can dig up shekels, which wouldn't make it fair. And number 3, I'm not allowed to trade my fruits with other people. Also, one more thing, the gameplay was recorded after the Blood Moon update, so keep that in mind. Now that we explained the experiment, let's begin. The grinder. I started by creating an account by the name of The Ultimate Gag Grind. Then I hopped into Grow Garden and began my journey. The first thing I did was listen to the magical voice in my head telling me to buy my first seed. I bought 2 carrot seeds, planted them, and sold them for 52 shekels. I know, generational wealth. Even though it wasn't a lot, I was able to buy my first strawberry seed, which would become my main source of money later in the challenge. Also claimed 100 shekels from the Forever Pack, which I used to buy 2 more strawberry seeds. As I sold my first strawberry, I realized that these things were actually worthless, and that I should have just bought more carrots. Later, while selling more strawberries, the weather turned frozen. See, the chill mutation gives a 2 times money boost to plants, which for a noob like me was super worth it. And as I waited for my crops to become chilled, it happened. One of my carrots turned chilled, and it sold for a whopping 44 shekels! We are so back! As I walked back to my farm, it actually turned night, which was very useful for me. You see, I didn't go into the challenge without a plan. Nope. My plan was to get the hedgehog pet from the lunar quest, because it actually sells for a lot of money. The problem was that I could only get one night event to happen in my hour, and sadly it didn't happen at a good time, since I had almost no crops that could turn moonlit. Still, I pushed onward, but was met with no luck, since the night ended with me only getting 6 lunar points. During the night, I was also able to buy my first blueberry bush and corn plant. I also finished the first row of strawberry bushes, which was pretty epic. After night ended, I rejoined a new server because I wanted to check my quests. If you didn't know, the gear shop only shows up after you complete a tutorial and rejoin. Also, I know I said I couldn't leave, but I excused myself here since quests are pretty important for a grinder. Anyway, when I looked at my quests, I realized they were way too hard to complete, so I just went back to farming. After a long while, the seed shop finally gave me a good stock. It had bamboo and coconut, which I both hadn't had yet. So I made some money, bought a bamboo seed, made some more money, and bought a coconut seed. Like, dude, I was excited, alright? You might not see it because I was absolutely locked in, but I wrote it in my notes, so it must be true. Wait a minute, what's the note below that one? Tell viewers to subscribe? Oh, okay. Hey, since you've made it this far in the video, I know you're enjoying this video. So why not subscribe? It's completely free and it helps me out a ton. And trust me, this is not one of those subscriptions that you're gonna regret. I make Grow Garden videos all the time, so subscribing is totally worth it. Anyway, the note below subscriber plug is big money. Oh my god, that is some big money!
Oh my god!
So yeah, I made my first 5-figure bag from harvest, and I was just getting more and more money. But the seed shop stock wasn't really letting me spend all that money. I mean, don't get me wrong, the bamboo and coconut seeds were amazing, But the problem was that the coconut trees grow very slow, and I couldn't afford a watering can yet. So most of my time was spent picking fruits, selling, just for the stock to be garbage. But then I struck gold. Bamboo seeds. Now I know I already got bamboo seeds, and they didn't really help me out. But this time it's different. See, at first I was barely able to buy one, but now I had enough to buy the whole stock. So I did, and I had zero regrets. And I didn't stop making money. I was on the grind. And as I kept expanding my garden and I kept making more money, the end of the challenge approached. One tiny problem, I didn't know that at the time. I was so locked in that I didn't even bother checking my timer, which led us to this moment. The biggest fumble in the history of Grow Garden. Actually, second biggest. The biggest one was the cosmetic update. I saw cactus seeds in stock, and of course I bought them. You might think, okay, isn't that a good investment? Well, no, because I had about 2 minutes on the clock left, which meant I just wasted 60k on something I couldn't even use. And so the challenge ended with me having 87k. Well, that was a bit of a blunder. Anyway, let's move on. The Beggar. I started off by creating an account by the name of the Poorest Gag Beggar. Then I hopped into Grow Garden to begin begging. As I joined the first server of many, my eyes immediately started sparkling, since I joined a server with a very wealthy person. Sadly, they didn't respond to me, so I hopped into a different server. There, I had a bit more luck. This kind person gave me a maxed out mango, which I was very thankful for. And it was worth... Yeah, I'm not telling you, buddy. You're gonna have to watch till the end to find out how much a beggar makes. Anyway, next server I wasn't too hopeful, since no one was responding to me, until I said the magical words, "Pretty please." And then this guy came towards me. It looked like he was gonna give me a moonlit strawberry, but I actually switched it out for a moon blossom and a pepper. What a goat. The server after that was an interesting one. I joined and everything was fine until I asked if I could have a fruit and everyone just kind of froze. Not sure why, but right after that, in a new server, this person ended up giving me some mangoes. "Thank you," I said in response. A pretty solid reply in my opinion. Then when I hopped into a new server, I met this guy. He was having an argument with some other guy, but even though he seemed busy, I asked him for a fruit. And oh boy, let me tell you, I got more than just a fruit. When I tell you this guy is the absolute embodiment of the goat, you better believe me. He gave me 6 mangoes and 2 dragon fruits, both with really good mutations. And after I told him I was thankful, he gave me 13 more mangoes, a giant golden pepper, a hedgehog, another dragon fruit, and a freaking owl! If the beggar wins this challenge, it is definitely because of this generous goat. After that, I got into a server with another generous guy that gave me 3 dragon fruit, and he even asked me if I needed more. People are so generous in this game, like it's actually insane. Anyway, I politely declined, but even then, he still gave me a hedgehog. Appreciate it, my man. Next server, someone gave me an orange tabby, and after that, my timer ended. So I went to the selling booth, sold all my fruits, and then sold my pets one by one at the pet shop. And after a full hour of begging and 0 work, I present to you 22.5 million shekels. This greatly exceeds what the grinder makes. In other words, the beggar wins. Now, why am I not excited, you may ask? Well, it's because I was rooting for the grinder to win. You see, grinders put a lot of work into the game. On the other hand, beggars just feed off of those hard-working people, making way more than them. But that might not be the full story. See, in 1 hour, a beggar might make more money. But if I had played longer as the grinder, I would have definitely made more. This graph shows that visually. A beggar's money income is consistent, a linear growth. But a beggar's earnings increase over time, since the better you get at the game, the more money you get. An enlarging growth. So don't worry, you grinders, the beggars might make more money in the beginning, but you will always come out at the top. Also, before you click off this video, I'm actually giving away both of these accounts in the Discord server, link in the description. With that being said, subscribe if you like Grow Garden content, like the video if you enjoyed, and have an amazing day. Goodbye!